The wick-versus-close rule has anchored half this library. A wick through a zone is a sweep. A decisive close through it is an invalidation. This red refines that rule where it actually gets hard. On this BTC chart, a supply order block faced genuine closes above its top line more than once and survived every one as a prompt reclaim before producing the largest markdown on the chart. A close beyond a zone is a question. Acceptance is the only answer that retires it. The chart opens with a downtrend exhausting into a low, the selling pressure that dominated the left side running out of force as price carves a base. Nothing about the eventual supply zone exists yet, and the sequence matters. First the decline ends, then structure turns, and only then does the zone this red studies get born from the turn's failure point. Price recovers off the low with enough force to shift the market's rhythm. A change of character as the recovery pushes up through the structure the decline had built. The character flips from sellers stepping price down to a genuine two-sided contest. The change of character is the event. The failure point it leaves behind, where the recovery was sold into, is the anchor for everything that follows. At the recovery's failure point, the supply order block is marked, the pink zone at the swing high where the advance was capped. This is the origin, the footprint of the sellers who stopped the recovery, drawn as a zone extending forward in time. At birth, it is indistinguishable from any fresh supply zone in this library, including the ones that failed their first test. What makes this one worth reading is its endurance. Through the middle of the zone runs a double-headed arrow, the validity span. It advances with the zone while the zone lives and freezes where its life ends. From this bar forward, the chart is not just showing a zone. It is showing how long that zone has stayed relevant, drawn as a measurable span. A zone's value is not that it exists, but that it persists, and persistence has to be earned at every test. Price returns to the zone and begins working against its upper boundary, pressing into the band, the first genuine attempts to retire the level from above. The zone absorbs them. Price keeps closing back within or below the band, and the supply keeps capping the advances. These are the ordinary tests, the zone doing what supply zones do. The extraordinary tests are ahead, where price does not merely press the line, but closes beyond it. The continuation shows the zone's full life, the band extended far to the right, the validity arrow advancing through it, and price returning to the level again and again across the entire visible history. Rallies rise into it, stall, and turn. Every return is another interrogation survived, and also another draw on the resting supply. A long-lived zone is simultaneously proving itself and being spent. Then the hard case arrives. Price does not just wick above the zone. It closes above the top line and travels beyond it, a full excursion above the band. Under a simple close-through rule, this is the end. Zone invalidated, deleted, forgotten. Our own free detector, running its close-through mode, would have retired the level at this candle. But look at what the excursion does next. It stalls, hesitates, and turns back toward the band it just escaped. Price closes back inside the zone within a handful of bars, the excursion never establishing itself above the line, and the reclaim completes. The close above was not acceptance. It was a failed breakout at close granularity, a trap for those who treated the first close beyond as the verdict. The reclaim is what decisive means, made mechanical. A close beyond opens a pending question, and only acceptance answers it. The pattern repeats late in the zone's life. Another strong push, another close above the line, the highest excursion of the sequence, and another failure to accept. Price returns inside the band once more, the final reclaim of the zone's long interrogation. By this point, the zone has survived every category of test this library catalogs: ordinary presses, wick sweeps, and multiple genuine closes beyond. The resolution, when it comes, is emphatic. From the zone, price collapses in the largest markdown on the chart, on climactic volume, breaking the structure beneath and extending well below everything the band had capped. The zone's long validity span ends at its moment of greatest consequence. A zone deleted at its first close above would have been absent from the chart for most of its life, including the day that life mattered most. 3 things to carry from this chart. First, a close beyond a zone is a question, not a verdict. Acceptance retires a level, and a close that promptly reverses is a failed breakout at close granularity. Second, invalidation logic is a design decision that decides what your chart remembers. A simple close-through rule trades sophistication for cleanliness. A 2-stage rule pays complexity for memory. And third, persistence is not prophecy. The reclaims kept the level on the chart, so its resolution was readable, but they never promised which resolution would come. No detection rule does. If reading charts this way is useful to you, subscribe to SMC Chart Sense for a new chart read every week. That's the best way to keep these in your feed.